Much better. All right, guys. This is an interesting one. We hit a big milestone recently. Actually, as of 2 days ago. 1 second, tea break. So, I have 390 subscribers. Nothing big to brag about. But one thing I noticed, and I've never really kept track of this, but I have more videos than most YouTubers. I have 801 as of today. So this technically is my 800th YouTube video. I just released Doom a few minutes ago, but I thought that this would be a great time to kind of go down memory lane and kind of explain the stuff that I've never really explained on YouTube, like how everything started, how basically like how all of us met. But so I'm just kind of do it at random, see where it puts us. I don't want to do anything past 2018. I really want to go all the way back if we can. So I'm just going to shuffle because I'm not going to hand pick these. It's just way too much. That's 2017. Oh, fuck. Okay, we can start here. Wow, that's loud as shit. I didn't realize that was so loud. Siege is actually a good place to start because I guess I've never really explained on YouTube how we got to the point of Siege. But, so first off, that intro Grant made a long time ago. I remember when he made that and I put the music in and it would get copyrighted every time. So that's why I took it out, and I realized I didn't really like intros. But let's start with Siege because Siege was where I've pretty much met everyone. So we had what I like to call like the OG 7. So what happened was when Siege came out, okay, well actually let's go back. So the first person I met when I had my PC was Clutch, or Will, who I met through CSGO. So this was before Siege even came out. Then through Will, I met Jason, who you guys know, one of my good friends, maybe one of the closest. And then we would play Siege all the time, and that's how I met Matt and Grant. Will was in high school and I was in college. So when he was in school, I would solo queue, and that's where I met Grant, Matt, and 2 other people named Gold, I Love Gold, and Master Chef Ben. So no exaggeration, we all solo queued randomly. And no exaggeration, I think we won like 50 ranked games in a row. Like, it was nuts. So for us, that was like the dream team, I guess you could say. So from there, we went into the ESL Open League. So basically what that meant was, I don't know if I might be talking out of my ass here, but I think when a new video game comes out, new competitive game, it has to wait a year before it can go into like an ESL Pro League. So Ubisoft did an ESL Open League for us to sign up in. And we were dominating kids for months now. Like, we were at the point where we just couldn't lose. So we were like, let's go into the ESL. So we signed up, and we couldn't play with Jason or Clutch because basically you had to be 18 or older to be in. And at the time, Jason and Will were both too young. So the dream team, as we like to call it, or Team Solo Queue, for those of you that have been around for a long time, was me, Matt, Gold, and Ben, who, again, Gold and Ben kind of went on, but there's a reason for that. So we went into the ESL Open League thinking that we were going to like dominate these teams. Guys, we would get smacked. Like, ridiculously smacked. After that, when we realized that we weren't as good as we thought we were, Ben and Gold kind of did their own thing, but not like there was no hate or anything. It was just we were all in college. So I think Master Chef Ben actually went to one of the highest end chef schools, culinary schools in New York City. And then I don't know what Gold did, but those 2 are really good friends in real life. So I think they just kind of moved on, which is fine. But as you guys know, Grant stayed, Jason stayed, Clutch stayed for a while, and then Matt stayed. So basically, these were the videos I made kind of during the years where we were pretty good. Now we're not anywhere near where we were back then, but this was, well, it was over 3 years ago. So let's see. God, look at how washed out I am.
Here, I'll go grab him, and then when you watch the video, you'll go see. You can see.
Man, I look so tired too.
I don't even know. What the heck is a schnoodle?
This is a teddy bear.
Oh, there's my Bobo. Bobo's about
I can't.
3 here.
Schnauzer and a poodle. Are we? No. Oh my God, we're playing bacon pancakes again.
Oh, fuck. Well,
I didn't even know I made that edit. So one thing that I'm noticing here, so back then, so this was, I'm surprised I had my green screen. So I had to be a junior in college. This had to be beginning of junior year because I didn't have the green screen back then. This was back when, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I think I just learned how to edit about 2 months ago. As you can tell by how I look now in comparison to over there.
He's right there, yep. Where? Question mark. What? He's literally facing the opposite direction.
Clutch is still like that, just so you guys know.
Did you just pre-fire the shit out of it or what? Ah, damn it.
Now, hold on, pause. As you guys could tell, back then I was a lot more competitive with this game because I actually cared about my rank. We would usually get high plat every season. So these videos weren't as much fun for me as they were skill based. So I mean that's why I'm a little more like angry in these videos back then. So that's kind of why I can kind of come off arrogant back then. Also, I was in college running on 2 hours of sleep every night because we would literally play from like once I got out of class all the way to like 4 a.m. It was not a good time. Oh, house.
You want to do the other?
Man, I miss when this was in the competitive lobby
Above us.
or the competitive roll queue.
Oh, he got me. Yeah, he's up there. He's lit. Jaeger. Oh, my mic doesn't work. I forgot.
Your mic's on your head, Chris. That's why it's not working. This ought to be good. So back then, Matt was so angry all the time at this game because back then there was a lot of problems with Siege. The net coding was really bad. They also had Siege used to make it really easy for like other countries to play in our servers, and they would have a huge advantage. So yeah, Matt was not the biggest fan of this game, but he was pretty good at it. So I got to give him that.
If you put it too close, my electricity will just destroy it. Put it like right here. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, there's no point having both.
What? You might as well.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. If you're not gonna, yeah. See, that's way too close. That's way too close. Put it like back here. It's gonna break now.
Oh, I remember this.
Off. How about that? Okay,
Hey,
I think
who's
it's
the one
what
talking
you need.
shit?
You talk shit, get hit. You know things, Chris.
Hey, hold on, just hold on. I'm trying to heal you right quick. Can I please?
You don't need to get these there either, by the way, buddy.
Matt used to do that all the time.
Shot in the fucking head. How long does it mean?
Matt would never do this today. Matt would never do that today, but back then he was so angry all the time because no one would ever play smart in this game. So what I mean by that is people didn't really know how to use abilities. Like back then the bandit trick didn't exist. Like little things like that, like those little cheeky things that you could do. So when Matt didn't get his way, even if it was us, it got pretty rough. Matt and I definitely had some heated moments together.
Was the worst aim. It's gonna be the
Yeah,
worst
well, my
game of all
fucking
time.
hands are sweaty.
Oh, really? Why are your hands so sweaty, bro?
See, that was the reason though why we kind of let Matt get away with it. We were good enough back then that we could still win like easy 3v5s. Like this was not pretty uncommon for us. Not bragging or anything, but it was just kind of the time. So yeah, that's why we didn't really mind when Matt kind of got out of hand.
What? Fuse. Said no retaliation.
That's funny.
Holy fuck, that gets stupid. He's honestly so stupid that it's funny.
So I think this is actually before I met Cal. So one thing I should say, so Nuds is in this video, and Nuds came along after. So, okay, let's see if I remember this. So Matt used to live on his own, in like an apartment with like like one of those, like he lived in the basement of some person's home. I don't remember the whole story. I'll have to ask him. But so he ended up moving in with Nuds. So he and Nuds would basically live together. Actually, they lived together for like the last 2 years in their dad's basement. So now they're both military. So that's why Matt hasn't been on in a while. And Nuds I barely ever see anymore.
I think someone's in the main lobby. Don't call me. Someone's definitely in the main lobby. Told you, bud.
Wow, that could have been really easy if we had all 5 players.
We got all these fucking shoulders on our team, bud.
Yeah. This is what I mean, though. So as I was saying before, I was so much more competitive back then that, like, as you can tell, these videos aren't really funny. They're more so, like, they're not really what I make today. They're more so about, like, showing off skill or whatever, which I felt like at the time was the right thing to do. But now that I look back on it, I'm not as much as a competitive player as I used to be. So that's why these are kind of, like, if I was to go back and redo these videos, I probably wouldn't even put them out, to be honest with you. But, yeah. 800 videos, woo! And only like 20 of them are good. Okay, well, I guess I don't want to watch this video because I hate these kind of zombie maps. But basically, how zombies has always been like one of my favorite type of games. It's actually kind of where I got a good portion of my subscribers. So basically, Black Ops 2 was my shit. I used to play Black Ops 2 zombies all the time. So when I learned that there were custom maps on PC, that was actually the reason I was like, yo, I have to get a PC. So that was kind of basically what kind of threw me into all this, I guess you could say, as well as just my sheer addiction to video games. So yeah, basically I found out Jason loves zombies too, and that's when we started making zombie videos. And to this day, we still make them. I love making them. So yeah, like the only thing I will say about zombies is not every map that kids make is a winner. Like we've had some pretty shit maps where we played them and we were just like, it's not, there's no point in playing these. We made videos on them, but it fell out of necessity rather than the want to do it. So that's why Jason and I last year, like, I know I used to get a lot of comments like, when are you going to start doing zombies again? And we were just so burnt out because we were doing such shit maps. But yeah, so now we're doing we do more with like Easter eggs now, like full guides that we can do rather than do ones like these where it's basically just run to the end. That's kind of why we stopped doing zombies, but now that we're back, we've been having fun with it. So yeah, let's see. We'll go through parts of this and just see how I do, because I'm actually not sure how the editing is. So the one thing I will say about zombies is that it really made me a better editor in the sense of like how to cut, like where better cut spots were in my editing. So I will thank it for that. These were more, so this is what I mean. These videos were more so like practice for me.
Chance at survival. Did you just turn the fucking power on? You fucking dick.
So for those of you that don't know, when you turn on power in a custom map, they've kind of fixed this recently, we've noticed. But it used to lag really bad because all the power would turn on at once and you'd have a crap ton of perks on the map, and the maps were small. So it would cause a severe lag, which is why stuff like that would happen.
I mean, real fast, I'm just gonna pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop this one here just because, like, again, this is the perfect example of a map that I wasn't into, but I felt like I was kind of forced to do. So again, this is another video I probably wouldn't have like at the time I was probably happy with, but now that I see my newer stuff, this is junk to me. CS:GO highlights and moments. Oh wow, this is 2016. So this is my room.
What, are you not, did you get kicked?
Yeah, you might.
God, look at how much hair I had.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's just fucking like it'll work for 5 minutes and then it won't, and then it will, and then it won't.
So this is Mitch. We're friends with Mitch. He's not really a gamer, I would say. He's Grant's like best friend. Oh, he's a good friend of mine too, but I Snapchat him every day, send him nudes, you know. Did I edit this at all? I feel like I just put up raw footage. There hasn't been a single cut yet.
I can tell already Mitch is gonna rage.
And we're 3 minutes in. Oh, then again, now that I think about it, I don't think I had an editing software back then. I think I was only just putting like a start, stop, and that's it.
Let's go.
No.
I use DeNova.
Oh wait, so I guess there is cuts. So I guess I did have an editor. That's a horrible cut. So I didn't cut anything for 8 minutes. Yeah, see, this is kind of a boring video. I barely did any editing. Kind of upset. All right, next. What's this? This is White Walker Zombies. Oh, I remember this one exactly. Yeah. So we did this with Grant, and Grant never played zombies before, really. Here, let me move myself.
Pack-a-punching all weapons, getting all perks, and the viable
Ending. Yeah, so I would write all these down. Obviously, hold on, pause. So I would write all these down because this is what I mean. We were kind of bored of zombies, so we needed something to do. So we could have just gotten the Bible ending off the bat, but we wanted to make it somewhat of a challenge because these maps weren't that great back then. So we decided to make these like kind of like goals before we ended a video, because otherwise we would beat them in like 6 minutes. So yeah. The culling, dude. Okay, let's talk about the culling real fast. So this game was kind of like the first more mainstream battle royale. So basically it was like well, first off, it was a huge flop. It was really bad. But there was nothing else on the market back then. So this was the first person battle royale, I would say. Like you had Arma 2 mod, and then you had H1Z1 was like the big thing right here. But at this point, PlayerUnknown was kind of in the works. So we basically, this was like the only game we could play. So just because H1Z1, as you guys know, sucks dick. So all right, let's watch this. I haven't seen one of these videos in years.
A stripper is someone who just strips. No sex involved. A prostitute.
Oh, thanks for this, Chris. See, you got an education here too. So this was my sophomore year of college. I can tell because that's my roommate's bed right there.
There's no way I can reach you either.
My bed was always made, Mom, just in case you ever see this one day.
There's a guy chasing you, by the way.
Go, go, go.
Nice pop.
Oh,
The jumper.
Very good sneak attack.
God, I can barely tell what's going on because it's so choppy.
You know you can block, right?
Fuck that. I ain't no
You're
pussy.
gonna end up running into a
Nope.
trap.
I ain't no pussy. I ain't no pussy. I ain't no pussy.
See, as you can see, there were so many problems with this game.
You want some of this? You want some of this?
Yeah, so you can see why this game didn't do too well. It was just poorly made. Oh, this is Warface. So this was like, so for those of you that don't know Warface, it's like a free to play Call of Duty, I guess you can call it. It's not a bad game by any means if you're bored and nothing's out, but yeah. So I guess we just did a mission together. This is 2017. I kind of remember this, to be honest with you.
How did I miss that? What's
God,
wrong?
there's so much like silence in these videos. See, here's the thing that I do now when I edit. So the way I work is I get say I record something for an hour, right? Basically what I'll do is I'll do 2 passes through it. So I'll do all the big parts first where I edit. So I get all like the big chunks that I want. And then I'll go back and I'll trim all the little seconds off that I feel like are lulls. Whereas this, I left them all in and you can tell, you can hear them. How many? Hold on, I want to go back for a second. I didn't think it was funny at first, but look at how many times people just got leveled here.
And of course.
So this kid's going,
Yogi just got.
there's one.
I got that on camera.
Ah. Oh.
Oh my god, that kid got roasted again.
No, that was me.
I may or may not have shot that.
Oh, that's why I wasn't able to defib that dude.
it's like flying bodies. Chivalry. Oh, okay. This is a good one. So this was like, you know, Mahad or whatever it was, whatever it came out a couple months ago. This was like the original. So if you play Chivalry, you'll remember these days.
Get the fuck. Thank you. Like butter, right?
Like butter.
Who's this? Nice pink suit, you
Yeah, as you can tell, some stuff I never bleeped out back then. God, if someone ever did a deep dive of some of my videos, oof, it'd be pretty rough. So it's Grant, Nuds, Seb, I think?
Oh my. Oh.
Clutch.
Die, please?
Oh man, no. I stabbed you.
I was hot.
I can't see who's in it because I'm covering it. Good job, Chris.
My guy is like crying.
See, here's the thing, right? So most people would know, like a good editor would go, oh, wait, you have all this space over here. Why didn't you just move your camera over? Because I was young and dumb. Family disappointment. Oh, golf it. Oh, this is somewhat recent. When was this?
Sexually?
2018? Okay, let's see it.
Well, yes. But...
See, these are edited. This is back when I was actually a decent editor. I was learning how to edit.
Okay. Alright.
Wow,
Wow, that's bullshit. I can't believe Francis made that.
That would have been nasty if I went all the way around and one shot it.
Yeah, but you're not
I
that
got
good,
it in
Mitch.
one shot.
Not that good.
I always love that edit, but it's so corny.
Pancake, just try not to be a disappointment like you are to your parents.
Boom.
There
Hey.
you go.
Hey. No matter what you say,
Got it in the
my
hole.
parents will always see me as a disappointment.
Demolished by Smiter or something.
No, you'll see what happens.
Because I'm an
Mitch.
excellent competitor at this game.
Yeah, okay, Mitch, calm down.
Bucket.
See, the best part about this is, so Mitch was, Grant and Mitch, I would always, it was basically a fight for first between Grant and Mitch, and then I would always place third. But what happened was recently, like, we haven't done these videos in a while because Mitch's game actually, like, broke. He only black screens now, and, like, on both computers. Like, he's got he made a whole new computer just for it and still didn't work. So that's why we haven't really done these in a while, but I'd love to play these again. I'll have to bring it up next time. But again, Mitch is a lot busier now that he's in college, so I think that's enough golfing, I'd say. I mean, now that I look back on it, these videos really did kind of shape my editing today in the sense of, like, when to cut, when not to cut, and when like what to add, what not to add. And this really introduced sound effects too for me. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. So okay, let's talk about Fortnite. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite, but I do have a certain level of respect for it. Like, I can do a whole podcast on why I dislike but also like Fortnite. But let's talk about who's in this video. So you got Alan and Cal. So I think you guys probably heard Nuds talking about Cal before. Cal, Matt. Okay, so we have a lot more people now than just the OG7. We've lost a few. We've gained a few. So let's start with, okay, so through Matt, I met Cal, Nuds, Bailey, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably about it. So I met those guys all went to school together, so that's how they all know each other. Then there's Alan, Matt, and E. Obviously my two brothers, but Alan and I went to school together, so that's kind of how the two parties, I guess you could say, met. And now everyone's still good friends to this day. So Alan obviously is sick at Fortnite. Cal still trying to figure out what game he's good at. So I hope he sees that.
He's running towards your building. He's in your building.
No.
So these aren't that old. These had to be last year, 2 years ago. Okay, September 2018. So I don't know if I recorded these or if these were like, no, it can't be Twitch highlights because the quality's too good. So usually whenever I do Twitch highlights, I download those from Twitch, and usually you take a pretty big quality loss. So yeah, anyway, these are what basically got me into the Twitch highlights because, again, I wasn't that into Fortnite, but I was playing it a lot because everyone else played it, all of my friends. So basically we made the Twitch highlights, and then I realized that I was playing so many other games that that's when the Twitch highlight videos started coming out. So, or like I had the idea for Twitch highlights. So thanks Fortnite for that. I'll give you that much. Oh, I remember this now. Ready? Watch this. I was actually pretty proud of this play.
We doing this?
Boom.
One knocked. Two knocked. For the game.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
I'll sign some autographs for you guys. Enter the Gungeon. Okay, let's talk about Enter the Gungeon. So we won't watch this video, but Enter the Gungeon was basically the first game that got me into dungeon crawling. A lot of the games I play are either puzzles or dungeon crawlers. So honestly, we won't watch this video, but if you haven't played this game, go play it. It will change your life.
Oh my god, this fucking desync!
Oh my god, Matt had the worst internet. So this had to be before he lived with Nuds. And I remember Matt used to go upstairs and literally yell at the homeowners, and we would all be able to hear it. He'd come back downstairs and we'd be like, oh, we didn't hear anything. He would be like, he'd literally like pull out the router cord while they're using it, and he's like, this is mine. It was so funny. Matt has issues, let's put it that way.
Oh my god, this fucking desync! Get through the fucking door, you goddamn.
Oh my god. Thank God I can bleep stuff.
Oh, that's okay. No, just stay alive. Guys, run, no. He doesn't have diffuser. Why would you run towards him? Nuts!
Behind you.
Oh my god!
You're so fucking deaf, dude. Holy fuck. That was fucking the worst thing
Nuts,
ever.
that was so dumb!
What the fuck do you mean? He's wandering like an elephant and we were screaming where he fucking was.
You could've just ran away!
He's behind you! He's fucking behind you!
Let's see. There's a specific video I actually want to find.
On my marks.
Here it is. So Matt and I used to butt heads. God. Matt and I used to butt heads all the time. So I made a fight night with Matt and I. And I'm actually gonna watch this all the way through because I haven't seen this in a long time. Cap can. That was.
Why the fuck would you do that? Like, and then you tell us, why the fuck would you shoot
You
me?
too?
Like, yeah, he's fucking. I swear to God, he's trying to.
I'm at 41 health right now. Just so you know.
What do you guys all think? You know, where they come down?
I'm at 41 health.
How are you at 41 health?
Cause Matt shot me.
You're not 41 health, you fucking.
Oh, okay, we can end it on some Apex. So these are pretty recent. These are last year. I remember this one. I haven't played Apex since. I haven't played on the new map.
Headshot.
You're right in there. All right, give me a sec, boys.
So this should be edited fairly well. Ideally.
One knocked. Because I'm such a bad. He's hit. One shot. Nuts, come on,
weird.
this is all you, baby. Okay, never mind. I'll just punch the guy.
I
Holy.
hit him once through 50, alright? Oh, another guy.
Boom!
Dude, I just. One knocked.
Wow.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, 0 bullets.
I didn't have bullets.
No ammo. Yeah, I saw the 0 on the back of your gun.
Oh, I think there was a little editing error there. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised that I've gone through all these videos and I haven't really seen any mistakes. You know, I've seen bad editing, but I haven't seen any mistakes, which I'm kind of happy about.
That was a fast kill.
No, fast
It's
heal.
execution run anyway.
Yo, excuse me, that's my airdrop. Bring that back. Bring that back. I'm sorry.
That's actually my
Yeah,
airdrop.
fine, you can have it.
Yeah.
Matthew's
I know
break.
exactly what that was, too. Nah, I don't actually want it. You can have it. I don't go down anyway. I know you go down a lot.
That's such a bad edit.
What kind of armor we got in here? Shit.
Oh, that's a teammate right there. Yeah.
Last guy's right here. He's lit. He's got like no health.
So I'm top on him. He's lit.
I'm sending it.
He's one up, one up.
God, look at these comms though. I'm pretty proud.
See where they're here?
Get it, boys. Easy dub.
He's
Easy
on the
dub.
roof, on the roof.
Easy dub.
Oh my god, no.
I like how I'm just running away.
Downed one?
Down one. How? I thought there was only one guy.
No.
Oh, okay. Good
he
job.
had a revive shield.
Yeah. Good job. GG.
Is that it? Oh, okay, I guess that's it. Alright, well, anyway, and we'll end it there. It's. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's kind of tough watching your own videos from years ago. But man, 800 videos. It's been a wild journey. The last 6 years. So many more to come, though. I can promise you that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little recap of the last 6 years, and hopefully you learned a little something about us. So yeah, peace, guys. See you in the next video.